According to a highly regarded average of the most recent presidential polls, Hillary Clinton's lead over Donald Trump has shrunk to just 1.9%. In fact, two of the most recent polls in the Real Clear Politics average, the LA Times poll and the Gravis poll, show Trump leading Clinton by small margins nationally. And polls in key battleground states like Florida and Ohio show the race in those states is tied. Professor David Schultz of Hamline University recently co-authored a book on presidential swing states, and he joins us now. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
All right, and I just had you go over the brand new,
Yes,
hot off the press, CBS News Battleground Tracker poll. What's going on here?
Well, it's a couple things. First off, Trump went from about a 1 point behind Clinton before the convention to about 1 point ahead. What the poll suggests is that it really was a result of undecided voters making up their mind and saying they're going to vote for Trump. Not switching of Clinton people to Trump. Okay, so that's interesting. Now, put this in perspective, a couple things are going on here. It's among key battleground states. Two, it shows a small bump, not as big a bump after a convention you normally expect, but more importantly what it shows here is that Trump didn't damage himself as much as some people claim. They thought that this was a very disastrous convention. He certainly didn't help himself as much, but didn't hurt himself as much. Now we're going into the Democratic convention where we can expect Clinton's going to get a bump too.
All right. If you look though at the trajectory of these polls going back 11 months, what you're seeing, and even to the primaries, is Hillary Clinton coming down and Donald Trump coming up.
Yes.
Is that going to continue?
That's possibly could continue, and that's a pattern that Clinton faced throughout the primaries. You might recall that she started off with enormous leads over Bernie Sanders, many times still won, but oftentimes, even if she did win, they were by narrow margins, but Sanders won in lots of situations. And so that seems to be a problem for her, is that, again, a year and a half ago, she had approval ratings of what, like 70%? Now she's got disapproval ratings of approaching 55, 60%. So yes, Trump, I think, and Clinton are converging at this point. And I would say that Clinton might have a slight lead in the critical swing states, but it is very, very close.
You just heard Ellen Goldberg-Lugar, who is obviously a Clinton delegate, who's optimistic about Hillary Clinton's ability at the convention to convince people that she is trustworthy. Is that something she can do in a 4-day convention?
That's going to be really tough for her to be able to do, because I think that's always been an issue. We're at the trustworthy issue. The email controversy, I think, did real serious damage to her in terms of credibility. And so I think she has to do two things in her speech. One is she has to address that trustworthy issue. And two, I hate to phrase it this way, it's that likability issue that she's always been sort of faced with here. And I know your previous guest talked about how she should be able to handle that.
Well, what she talked about, what Ellen Goldberg-Lugar said, is that how warm she is in person and how, but that warmth doesn't come across.
It doesn't come across, and it's going to be hard to change a lot of people's minds, because I can't think of too many people better known than Hillary Clinton over the last 25 years, and people have already made up their minds. It's a tough road. Again, so she's speaking, though, to a very small number of undecided voters that she's got to hit.
Okay, let me ask you about Bernie Sanders. There is sort of a flap out right now, leaked emails that suggest that at the highest levels of the Democratic Party, they tried to suppress Bernie Sanders' campaign for the past 11 months. Bernie Sanders is speaking tomorrow night. Right. His endorsement, by some accounts, a couple of weeks ago of Hillary Clinton, lukewarm. Is this going to be something close to a Ted Cruz moment? Although I don't think anything could quite be a Ted Cruz moment.
Right. Yeah, I don't expect Sanders to sort of pull back on his endorsement of her. But clearly, this becomes the kind of noise that Clinton doesn't want to have going into the convention. Because if you think about the RNC, one of the themes was noise. It prevented Trump from being able to crystallize a message in the way that he wanted for all 4 nights. Remember, to a large extent, conventions are 4-day infomercials. This will be short-term noise. Where it might affect Clinton is in terms of how does this compromise the ability to win over some of the Sanders people, especially young people, going further down the line. We don't know yet.
All right, we only have a few seconds left. How critical are the debates going to be in this race?
The debates are always enormously critical. That's the most watched thing, and they're going to be critical, especially, I think, again, for moving those swing voters in swing states, because we really are down to, I would argue at this point, probably only about 10% of the voters in about 10 or 12 states that are going to really determine the election, because we know some states, such as California, Texas, New York, are solid one way or another.
All right, and we do have your book here, Presidential Swing States, that you co-authored. Thank you so much for coming on. We certainly appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
You're welcome.